so forth and so on. So I have asked Jamie Plaster, who is our Supervisor of Educational Technology, to give us just a quick update in terms of where we are and just what options we may or may not have as we go into the next budget season. So I'll turn it over to Jamie.
Thank you, Mr. Call. Thank you, boards. What I've done is I've worked with some of our technology people in the district and some of our teachers to come up with some options that are available to the district to broadcast board meetings. First thing we have to understand is key terminology. There's two things that we have to know the difference between, and that's broadcasting and streaming. Broadcasting is putting something out over cable television. Whether it's recorded or live, when it goes over the television, it's broadcasted. Your streaming is when something goes over the internet, over the web. Again, whether that's live or recorded and then posted, there's two different variances and they don't cross paths easily. So some details in any of the setups or any of the options that I'll be sharing with you today. You have to remember there's always setup and tear down of equipment. This is where the board meetings are held. We have no cameras currently mounted in the room. So in order to get cameras up here, someone would be bringing them up, setting them up, wiring them, also connecting them to the audio system if we needed to. In addition to the two cameras, if you wanted to also have media integrated into the production, you'd have to have a switcher to go between camera A, camera B, and the media. And there's also pre and post production, so anything that needs to be set up beforehand, and also any editing that would need to be done post the recording, and that includes like a bumper at the beginning, at the end, and if we needed to edit out. So if you did go into executive session in the middle of a meeting and that went on for 30 minutes, we wouldn't let the air run 30 minutes, we'd cut that out, put in the title saying executive session 30 minutes, then resume the time. So in any of the options, those are things that we have to keep in mind. So there's 4 options that we can look at. The township broadcasting it for us, Mill Creek to record it and share it with the township, Mill Creek just to record it and broadcast it ourselves, or Mill Creek to stream it only on the internet. I'm going to go through in brief but some detailed information on all 4 options. So the first one is the township, for them to broadcast. They would actually bring over equipment, set it up, record it, take it back to their hosting, and put that on channel 9. Because the township's channel was channel 9, the Mill Creek Township School District is channel 8. And this is only if the township agrees, right? So if we ask them, hey, can you come over, record our meetings like you do the meetings that they have across the way, then they can do that. This is the only option that there's no cost to the district, because it's completely on them and it's going on to channel 9. Okay? So and that's if they're volunteering to come over. Does that make sense?
Have they volunteered to come over?
No. So like number 4, only if township agrees.
Because they currently subcontract WQLN. They pay WQLN to do it. So they do not have their own staff. They utilize WQLN.
QLN staff. So that would be something we'd have to look into.
And their channel 9 currently streams from below our feet in the basement here in our building. So channel 8 and channel 9 are currently in the basement of this building. So we still hold a little bit of ransom over them because it's coming out of this building.
And just to clarify, Channel 8 and Channel 9 are on 2 separate entities, if you will. They don't touch and they don't connect at all.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so our second option is for us to record and for us to share that file with the township. So on our end, it would be us to record, set up, pre- and post-production, and possibly some hardware, depending on if the stuff that we have left over from the studio that is downstairs, if it's even viable anymore, and will work with the setup. So the manpower, the time for someone to come in and do that, or multiple people if you want 2 cameras running, and the hardware, those all cost money. The other step of that is that whoever records it will have to package it for the township to take up to WQLN. So just because we record it doesn't mean it's compressed in the file that they need it in. So without knowing their exact specs, I don't know what that process will entail, or what compression file they want that whole file put in. All right. And then again, if we might need some additional hardware depending on their specs on that. Mr. Pike, we can give you the power. Did you want that?
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
I'm thinking and I'm going to take a picture and yeah.
All right, because we can send it to you so that way you have because I think Mrs. Sitter will put it up on the board docs as well.
Okay.
Would it be appropriate to just kind of interject as we're going along?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of expertise in this. We do have the equipment. The equipment that we used 2 or 3 years ago was pretty much state-of-the-art. And so, truth be told, the $200 little camera there that Janine has would be sufficient to do it. So you would not have a big cost of hardware. Our audio system is built in here. You do indeed need to put it in some type of a form to stream it. But my thoughts are, if we used one personnel that worked for us, before we had a department, we had 2 people plus a third, so we had 3 people. That was overcost, we eliminated it. But the thing that I enjoyed that we had were students. And what we did is we had students, and I don't know if they were paid a stipend or not, I believe they might have been,
They were.
but they were involved in this, and it gave them just an absolutely great opportunity to be involved. So I think that utilizing our students is very, very proactive and positive to utilize. So.
I have a question. I got A and B, and I've got A is the, right here, and we can plug into the audio.
Yeah.
QLN does the township. So if the township's going to do here, they either got to do it sort of send QLN over here for free, or QLN is going to charge us. Okay, now, you don't know the format is.
I don't, because we had not approached the township on how to do that.
How did we do it before? How did we get it from this point to Time Warner to have it on channel?
That's my
9?
next slide.
Oh,
All right?
I
So,
apologize.
good timing. No, good timing. So just my last note, if we broadcast on Channel 9, if we send it to the township, it will only be on Channel 9, not Channel 8, and program viewing time, meaning it will air at X date, X time, because it's cable. All right? So now for us to broadcast it in-house on Channel 8, this is where you're going?
I think.
You think? All right, well, we're going to go there. Same thing, Mtsd record it, pre- and post-production, manpower time, possibly some hardware. Same slide as before. This is where it gets really sticky and expensive. Because Channel 8's in our building, it's there. But there's a program, and you need to have a person who knows how to code and run the programming software to be able to get the video up onto Channel 9 and have it run. So it's like web coding, like building a web page, you have to know that specific language of code to be able to do that. So it's not a WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get, where I can go and take a media file, plug it in and say play it at 2 o'clock. It's actual language programming downstairs.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions, and I thought somebody would be able to answer, is doesn't QLN have a computer and a direct feed to Time Warner? Because Time Warner is where you're going to end up having to feed it to. So this is what you're talking about. Feed it directly to them, and you need a computer, and you need to code it, and then it can take hours to upload, because everything's based on download speeds, not upload?
I don't think it'll take hours to download, because
Okay.
if I understand correctly, we run what's called dark fiber.
Oh, that's, oh, yeah, I know.
So dark fiber is not what everyone else is on,
Okay.
right? So it's designated for these type of purposes. So you can move big pieces, but again, it's hiring someone to program that to make it work. Because right
And-
now, we have no one in-house that knows how to do it.
Okay, and if you edit it, if you have 2 cameras and you gotta pay somebody to edit, to
Yep.
meld it together. Okay, all right.
Yep.
And just as a point, because I talked with WQLN, I know those folks. They are currently, they send a crew, and I'm not sure if they use their equipment or our equipment. When I say our, the Mill Creek Township, we kind of both have the same stuff. Because it used to be our crew from the school district did the township. Okay, when they had their supervisors meeting, it was our people. The playback is currently located in the basement here for both Channel 9 and Channel 8. Channel 8 is still a hot channel. It kind of pains me when I flip through the channels and I see the slide that's been up for about 1.5 years, 2 years solid that says Mill Creek School District and nothing but it's hot in our basement here. It does not come out of QLN. The stream currently comes from this building and goes to Time Warner. So when QLN does something, they have to dub it onto, let's say, a jump drive, and then they come down here and load it into the playback that's downstairs. But the playback that's downstairs is capable of 2 channels. And again, it's only a few years old. It's not end of life. It's there.